Hi, this is Rob Younger, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my China business project idea. And I decided to concentrate on something that was sorely lacking in China, craft beer. So, this talk today and this presentation will go much better for all of us if everyone could grab one of these from their fridge and follow along with me. Doesn't have to be the same brand. Pick out whatever the kind that you like and pause this video, and we can pick back up here in just a second. I'm going to help myself here to this one as we go along. So today I'm going to tell you about Mamahuhu Niang Zhao, or Horse Horse Tiger Tiger Brewing. So as I got thinking about the state of the brewing industry in China and beer in China in general, there's 1.4 billion people in China, but really there's only one kind of beer, and that's Pilsner Lager. And a Pilsner is a perfectly fine beer, but other markets have shown that there's an opportunity to grow unique and different styles of beers. The brands above here that you can see, they represent 70% of the entire Chinese business, beer market. And when combined with a few other regional Chinese brands that are also producing Pilsner Lager, those account for 95% of the entire market. And then there's about another 4.9% that are from sub-regional brands that are also producing Pilsners. And so what you see is a very huge market that is dominated by essentially one style of beer. Now, granted, street beer is fun. It's nice to be able to have access to that. But today there are many styles of craft beer that are available in Western markets, but in the Chinese market, there really is not much that's there. And the idea here is to bring Western style craft beer and Chinese inspired microbrews to the Chinese market. Um, Craft brewers in China today, they account for about 0.1% of all beer sold in China today. Let me repeat that. 0.1% of all the beer sold in China today is something that would be considered a craft beer. Boxing Cat, which is in Shanghai, was one of the largest craft brewers, and they were just acquired by Budweiser's parent, AB InBev, in March of 2017. Goose Island, which is out of Chicago and is also an AB InBev brand, is one of the largest distributed craft beers in China, and it actually accounts for a big chunk of that 0.1%. So when you look at the available room for expansion, it means there's a lot, lots and lots of room. So to reiterate, the beer market in China is huge, really huge. So to that, we say lots of good opportunity. It's an 80 billion US dollar market. That's 41.77 million kiloliters that you see here on the chart that puts them into the top position, accounting for 23% of the entire world beer market for China. That's almost double the size of the United States market, which is the second largest market that's out there. It simply dwarfs all the other markets. The craft beer segment at 0.1% is tiny. But if that rose to 1%, that market would essentially equal the market of the United Kingdom, which is the eighth size market that's out there. If China could achieve a 13% penetration, the craft beer market would actually by itself equal the beer consumption of Japan and a little bit more. So it's a very, very big potential in terms of the segment of craft beer for the Chinese market. There's no reason to think that growth won't happen. When you look at what happened in the United States, here we're looking at 1988. 199 breweries existed in the United States at that point in time. So 30 years ago, we had 199 breweries. In a 30-year period of time, the market in America just absolutely exploded. Went to over 6,400 breweries as of the end of 2017. So huge, huge growth, lots and lots of potential. And microbreweries and brew pubs are leading the charge. And that's because they are providing an experience and they're connected to their communities. It isn't regional breweries that are doing it. It's the small in-community microbrewing and brew pubs where folks can go experience the beer making, connect with the brewers and staff, and learn about the process of beer making and enjoy the product that's crafted right on the spot. So lots of opportunity here, and obviously this is another representation of that. So we have to get the word out. In addition to making a great product of the highest quality, we will work to get in front of people and to combine these in-person installations, like having a beer van that we can go out to regional events and distribute product in order to raise awareness. But we're going to combine that with social interactions so that we create buzz and natural social traffic through WeChat and other platforms. Social evangelists that latch on to the brand and promote it in their social circles will be rewarded with freebies, coupons, other types of recognition. And so we really want to combine this and make it an all-out national presence and not just a small, super regional micro brewery, because I think that if you can convince folks that there's a quality product and you can connect with them, there's a way to take that small microbrew presence and take it into a more regional, national type of product. So what could go wrong? Well, government, right? In China, the government dictates a lot of what goes on in business. One of the reasons why Shanghai is the area that was selected for the MamahuhuBrew is that we could operate in a trade-free zone and eliminate the need for a joint venture. Consumers could not fall in love with the craft beer, right? That's a risk. Competitors could introduce craft clones. Obviously, AB InBev, Budweiser is already taking this type of approach with Goose Island and with Boxing Cat. So there's a risk that consumers could be duped into thinking that what they're buying is craft beer, and instead they're buying something from one of the major players. Wine, spirits, or something totally new and different could capture market share and the attention of the consumer. We could have difficulty in terms of sourcing supplies, equipment, materials. If you can't get grain, hops, yeast, pure water, that's going to be a real problem. If you have a problem getting brewing equipment or canning or bottling equipment or equipment for kegs, logistical distribution, any of those kind of things could create some major headaches. And then of course distribution. We got to have folks out there in the restaurant, bar scene to get those places to be able to stock our product so that we can have a successful market penetration. And it could just be too costly. At the end of the day, to launch a business like this, to advertise it, to make it scale, it's going to cost money. And so that's obviously a risk as well. So what's next? Well, investment. Got to have the money to make the engine go. So we're looking to raise capital to ensure that we can hit the ground running. And then we got to get the equipment up and running, craft all of the recipes for the market, and start producing product, and hopefully start creating fans in China. So who's ready to get started with MamahuhuBrew? I'm ready.